Welcome to episode 7 of the Young Adults Guide to Planet Earth, the podcast where we try to figure out life through good conversation. I'm your host, Clayton Hemrick, and joining me, as always, we have Sid Warren. Nice.
Good evening. It's a fine evening. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. And we also have Hunter Baumgartner.
Yes, it is a fine evening indeed.
Indeed.
Yes.
So today, it is the first week of the year, so obviously we're going to do the cliche thing and talk about New Year's resolutions. But first, since we didn't have a podcast last week and it's been the holidays and I haven't seen these guys in a while, I think we're just going to take 5 to 10 minutes to catch up. So, how was y'all's holiday break?
Great. I went up north, visited family. So we went to, Maryland, yeah. And then we went to Tennessee and kind of did, a little vacation in Gatlinburg. And just a nice time. Got to visit family. Got some gifts here and there. Christmassy stuff.
Nice.
That's about it.
Cool.
How was your break, Hunter?
I got to go see Sid graduate.
That was a long time ago.
Okay, just let me.
This is the whole holiday season.
This
isn't
is for me. It was like a giant thing because it's just one thing after another. It was like my girlfriend graduating, and then Sid graduated. And I got to see my other buddies graduate, and it was like starting off on a high note. And then we get out for. I got a whole week off for Christmas, and then two days before Christmas Day, I proposed to my girlfriend, and now she's my fiance.
She said no.
No, she said yes, and it was at the Biltmore, and we had a good time. It was fun, and then Christmas came, and we had a big Christmas get together. Everybody came over, and she got to meet everyone, and it was good. It was fun, and yeah, and then New Year's, we had a good old time with New Year's, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Every time everybody's asked me, how was your break? I'm like, it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But not really, because, I went back to work. I went back to work on Wednesday, and, it felt so weird. And it felt great to get back at it and wake up early, and, because, man, I was sleeping in, I wasn't doing anything productive, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I like it in the moment, but then in practice it sucks.
I hear you.
Because I like to do things and be productive. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get into our topic.
No.
But first,
Awesome.
as always, we have the quote of the week. So,
All right.
What do you got for us with the quote of the week, man?
All right, I've got a good one from the $100 Man, Benjamin Franklin.
The $100 man?
Yeah. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of.
I like that, dude.
Yeah, it
like
works with
that.
our topic today.
Don't squander life. Don't squander time, because that's what life is made of.
There you go.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you just recognize him from being on the bill? He discovered electricity, man. He created the post office.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like that was a really clean way to say it. The $100 Man.
No, I like that. So Benjamin Franklin was known to keep a very detailed journal and a detailed schedule of his day. He would wake up every day and write in his little notebook, here's what I'm doing. He would wake up at 5 a.m. and he was a busy man because he was an inventor, he was a forefather, he was a writer, he did all of these things. So I imagine that when New Year's came around for Ben Franklin, he had some resolutions. I don't know. Maybe
You might not have called him that.
He was
but,
maybe just a perfect man who didn't need.
He had daily resolutions.
Yeah, he was a good dude. And if
Yeah.
I could accomplish as much as Ben Franklin, then maybe I would be on the $100 bill someday. But I can't imagine that. In 100 years when Elon Musk is on the 20 and
That's creepy.
we have Stephen Hawking. Well, I guess he's British.
We won't
so-
have currency. We'll just have digital qubits.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin.
Credits.
It'll be called the
Star
Elon
Wars.
Musk coin.
Yeah.
Be like, I have
And we'll be
50. I have 50 Musks, bro.
We'll also be living on Mars.
You don't think that's gonna work, Hunter?
They-
I like
pretty lame, right?
credits a whole lot more. They're already calling them credits.
If we ever do go to Mars, and it's because of Elon Musk, I think we should have currency with his face on it.
Well, think about it. If he technically claim Mars for himself.
No.
So what gives somebody the right to claim something that's
No one
in
owns the
space?
Earth.
Okay, I
He
see
could
what
claim
you're saying.
all the land on Mars.
I'm just saying, like,
If
look,
he went there and conquered Mars, it would exist as his until someone else went there and conquered him, and we'd just be going
So
like
it's a
back to the
territory.
medieval ages. Yeah.
okay. Well, I was just trying to understand how property works, and if you're off the planet, then there's no rules, laws.
Well, there's
or
a
anything.
guy who has made millions of dollars on the internet selling real estate to people, Mars real estate. So you can actually go online right now and buy real estate on Mars. He has no legal standing. He's you know how people like buy stars for people?
Yeah.
Like
no.
you can go on the internet and buy a star and put someone's name on it.
What?
Yeah. So like pay like $20 and it's like, hey, you see that little teeny star to the east of the moon, whatever? Because there's billions of stars. Like, why wouldn't somebody try to market that? So like, there's a guy selling property on Mars.
That
But like,
should be
but like
illegal.
when we actually get to Mars, it's not gonna it won't have any legal standing.
Yeah, then he'll get sued for billions.
No, he won't get sued because it's not illegal.
He's probably selling it as like a fictional, just fun toy type thing.
I can sell you real estate on a Minecraft server, and that's not illegal. Anyways, let's get back to our
That's crazy.
topic. One of our resolutions for the podcast is to stay on topic. So first little topic we're gonna kind of spend a little bit of time on is our last year's resolutions. If we even remember them, if we were able to accomplish those, and kind of just look at 2018 in retrospect. So do you even remember your resolutions, dude?
I don't remember the exact ones. I'm sure I have them written somewhere, but I kind of remember my frame of mind back then. And honestly, I feel like my resolutions last year are probably going to be similar to this year, which might tell you something about what I did
Whether or
last
not
year.
you
Yeah,
completed
so,
them?
but some of them are just like, you always have to be doing them, like health, like working out. Like, that's always going to be my resolution, even if I'm in peak shape, because staying in health. And then reading my Bible. I actually finished the Bible last year, so that was an accomplishment. But, like, again, I'll get into this later, but that's also my resolution this year, just to read it again. Just keep that going. Money. I feel like all these are just, like, inherent, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? My degree was a resolution. I finished that up. And then a house. That's one I didn't get. Which didn't make sense because I was in college. Like, I didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting closer to that, and that's pretty much that's all I can remember.
So, just like, how would you kind of rate your 2018? Like, you think you had a good year overall?
I think I had a great year. I think I finished up. I think it was a big kind of like end of a chapter for me. I finished a lot of things I've been working on, and I really kind of opened a new page for myself. And my life's been really similar for the past forever, basically, because I've been going through school. Things didn't change that much for me when I went into college because I still stayed at home. So it basically felt like I was still in high school, even though the work was harder.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm optimistic about this new year. I'm actually getting a job now. I'm in a serious relationship, and I'm seeing my mentality shift more towards. I don't want to say like the adulty things because I still have my youth. Like to me, what's so important to me is like always just being lighthearted, not taking life too seriously, not going all in on money because that's what some people, that's all that matters to them, and I don't ever want to be like that. So yeah, I guess long answer. I'm excited for the year to come. I feel like last year was great. I feel like I could have done more, but we can all be more efficient.
Yeah, I feel like there's always room for improvement. Retrospect is 2020 or hindsight or whatever. So you're always gonna look back and be like, I could have done more.
Yeah, I'm just thankful that I have a new year to make resolutions, and I'm thankful for each new day because I don't need a new year to make resolutions. So I'm just the new year reminds us all to be optimistic that we lived a year. God gave us another year on this earth, and
it's like it's a reset point where we can wipe the slate clean and be like, okay, maybe last year I didn't reach my goals, do what I wanted to, but like, let's try again.
Yeah. And
I think we should get in the mindset of doing that more often, not just once a year. Maybe be retrospective and reflective once a month or whatever. But I do like that, like as a culture, we have this time set up to where, okay, now's the time to make New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody should say that, they didn't do good enough last year. They need to do better this year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your last year for what it was, and be proud of it. Because even if you sat on your couch all year, that's impressive. Like, I couldn't sit on a couch for that long. Like, just find the positive. Give yourself a break. You're always growing. Even when you're on your deathbed, you're still learning new things. You're still a youth when it comes to this span of how long eternity is. Like, just be positive. And just focus on making things better, not fixing anything, because you're not broken. You got this.
Hunter, how did this year go for you? Did you fulfill your resolutions? Did you accomplish anything crazy?
Yes, I feel like I've accomplished most of what I set out to do this year. Not as like, okay, I'm going to do this, and that, and then that's going to equal this, and that's my resolution. It's more like I had these resolutions, and they're like vague, and they probably weren't going to happen. They probably were, but it was mostly up to like circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, graduating college, finding a good job to get in, getting a girlfriend, settling down maybe, and most of that came true. I mean, well, all of it came true. I found a girlfriend, then
Did you find a genie in a bottle and make 3 wishes?
I did, yes. And his name was, okay, I was going to make up his name, but
yeah, that's okay, man.
what came to my head was Mephisto, but that's like the evil guy from Marvel, so I don't want to go there.
Well, I mean, anyway.
It's just a weird name I chose, but.
So did you say 2018 went pretty good for you?
Yeah, but I feel like there was a lot of, like, I did a lot of cool things in 2018, and I'm just looking back, it's just like, okay, nice, you did it. You had fun.
You did it.
Because, like, I don't know, it's just, well, everything just, works out, Like, you want things to... Okay, I'm done. Yeah, I've lost my track of mind.
Okay, so
you can
let's look back at my year. I don't remember my resolutions. I know I wrote them down. I write them down every year. They're probably actually in my Google Drive if I went back and looked at them. But I'm pretty sure I wanted to read a lot more. I think I originally had a goal to read like 30 books in the year, which is a hard goal but a feasible one. A buddy of mine at work said his girlfriend read 40 books last year, and I was like, holy crap, I wish I could do that. I definitely didn't complete that. I started a lot of books, didn't finish hardly any of them, which is a habit that I need to get out of. Another goal that I had last year was to, and I'm just going to be straight up, like all of my resolutions last year were complete failures. Had a goal to start a blog and try to keep up with a blog. Didn't do that. What were some other resolutions? I don't really know. I had a resolution and a goal to become good enough at JavaScript to be comfortable applying to front-end development jobs. I didn't accomplish that. I did learn a lot of JavaScript, and I'm kind of happy with what I accomplished. But a lot of the reason I didn't accomplish that is because I would always have to go back and like accomplish goals and at school. So like that's what I do. I get into these projects and like I set these goals for myself, but then like school always kind of holds me back. So hopefully this year, whenever I'm done with school, it's gonna be a lot easier to finish some of my resolutions. But I'm kind of the same. So like I think it was Wesley Snipes, or I don't think it was some dude posted on Twitter about how everybody posts online about their triumphs and never their failures, and that's why we kind of get caught up in like I've got to be successful, because all these celebrities and all these big people online they're only posting about when they succeed. But like I think it's important to share when we fail, because that's what grows us, especially as a community and as a society. Is when we realize other people fail, then it strengthens us. Because if you just look at somebody you really like look up to, like some famous person, you're gonna be like, wow, they're incredible, but like they failed at some point in their lives. So even though I didn't succeed in my resolutions, I'd say overall I had a really good year. I also got engaged. We all three got engaged last year, which is that's kind of cool. Got engaged. Finished a semester of school, doing very well, or 2 semesters of school, doing very well. I don't know. I got a lot done. I learned a lot. That's my biggest goal every year is to learn more. So yeah, I think 2018 was good. I don't have any like definitive big thing that I did, but I think it was like an overall good year.
Yeah.
It was a crazy year.
We started a podcast.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We haven't stopped. We've been doing this podcast. We've done it in 2018 and 2019. That makes it sound...
We've been doing this podcast
longer.
2 years.
Yeah. This podcast has spanned 2 whole years.
Well, not whole, but... Yeah, I mean, I'd say, okay, going back, my YouTube channel, I'm really proud that I started that and actually started to put myself out there and try to have a bigger social media presence. That was cool. So, I mean, yeah, 2018 was good.
Cool. Well, you guys have some good resolutions from last year. And
so
we can do better.
Mine were terrible. What are you talking about? Mine were so vague that I was like, I guess I'll make it.
They're not goals. They're just resolutions.
That's a good transition into our next topic, which I had written down here as the importance of goal setting, but we're gonna talk about the importance of goal setting. We're also gonna talk about the difference between a goal and a resolution, and so we're gonna get into that. So I put the importance of goal setting because I think the basis of resolutions is like teaching ourselves to create goals. But like me and Sid were talking earlier, a goal and a resolution are 2 separate things. What do you think the main differences are there?
Well, the way I would explain it is like the same in business. So as a business, you have a strategy, and then to accomplish that strategy, you have goals, and then those goals have objectives, and those objectives have tasks. So and that's the same thing as like short-term, long-term, like not the same thing, but like the same concept, breaking big goals down to the little things. And I feel like your resolution is kind of like your strategy. Like, I want to get in better shape. But how do you do that? Then you set goals. I'm going to go to the gym X times a week.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to run X times a week, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the way. I feel like resolutions can be broader.
Yeah.
And because it's just like a resolution is like, what do you want to address in your life? What do you want to make better or fix or improve on or add to your life? And then you determine how you do it. And I feel like that's why a lot of resolutions fail, is because people stop at the resolution and expect it to happen. They don't set goals. They're not mindful and intentional about it. And then they just forget, and they don't have like a grasp on it, and then they just kind of fall away.
Definitely.
So that brings you to the importance of goal setting. If you're not setting goals, you're not going to accomplish your resolutions because you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Your mind is pretty efficient, and it can do a lot of stuff on its own, but it can't lay out an entire plan for a year to figure out how to do a strategy. You got to be mindful. You got to plan it out. You got to make time for it. I think another thing is when we make resolutions, we forget that what we already have to do in that year. And that's why like as college started hitting me, and I didn't plan around college with my resolutions. So when college started, I didn't do them because I didn't make a goal, and I didn't set a time, and I just had the desire. But we've talked about in earlier episodes, desire is not enough.
Yeah. So. Well, a good thing, an example I just thought of is like, if you just set a resolution at the beginning of the year, and the only other time you think about it and reflect on it is in December. You're like, oh, did I do it or not? That's like playing a video game without any checkpoints. Every time you die, you go back to the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
You gotta set goals that you can check up on yourself every now and again. Like, okay, my goal is to be healthier in 2019. Or my resolution is to be healthier. My goal is to go to the gym 5 times a week. So then February 1st comes around, you say, did I complete that goal? Then you set another goal. I want to go to the gym 5 times a week and start eating blah, blah, blah. So it's these like checkpoints where you can constantly be checking back in on yourself and you feel accomplished, and then it becomes a habit. Because once you start rewarding yourself and feeling accomplished, that's when your habits really start to stick. A lot of people make resolutions in January, check back up on themselves in December, and that just, you don't feel a sense of accomplishment. And that's why a lot of goals fail, like you said, because the resolutions fail because we don't make goals.
Yeah. I'm probably about to make a false statement, but I think just for making a point, it's okay. I think if you don't set a goal, you're never going to accomplish what you want to do. and unless you do it by accident. And yeah, certain things can happen, but like
Mr. Lucky.
if you're not setting goals, then there's nothing tactile for you to do.
Yeah.
You just have to like, it just doesn't work. Like that's how I think our brains work. Like
Yeah.
And see, sometimes we do kind of set goals without acknowledging it. And some people have the strength to kind of like just take that and put it into practice. But for me, I have to have a goal like shoved in my face every day. So like I have to write it on like a whiteboard or like write it on my notebook, and just so I see it every day. And you know, whether you know it or not, goals are so important. You might be that special person, and I wish I were you, and you could just have a resolution and just have the goals laid out in your head and just do it because you're just that awesome. And I want to talk to you. And but yeah, so goals, they're so important. I mean, we're kind of opening a different can of beans because this is about resolutions, but resolutions, they're goals basically. They have to have
I think when we're talking specifically resolutions, I think what we're saying by saying this is you do need to go a little more broad. When you're saying, what do I want 2019 to be for me, I don't think you should be looking at really specific things. I think you should be looking at more broad things. So, like, just a spoiler for later on in the episode, one of my resolutions is to start a career. That's so vague, and because I'm finishing school, that's so vague, and when that time comes, I'm going to have to actually set specific goals for it. But that, as an overarching resolution, is really going to help focus me on how to set a goal.
Yeah.
So,
and it keeps things in perspective, too. Because if you get 3 months into the year and your perspective shifts on a career, you still have the same frame of mind. You don't have to, like, completely restructure your resolution.
Yeah.
And not that that's anything difficult to do, but, like, psychologically, it's better to stick with something.
Yeah.
You know?
So, this all goes into... And we'll get more into this in a minute, but the best way to set a goal is to structure it in multiple parts. You can't say, this is my goal. You have to say, this is what I want to accomplish. This is how I'm going to accomplish it. Here are the steps I'm going to take to accomplish it. At each end of each step, I'm going to look back and see what, like, goals are way more structured than we think.
Yeah.
Hunter, what do you have to say about, like, the importance of goal setting?
It's, well... For me, like, I always have goals, but I never set them, like for me, I need exact layouts. Like, when it comes to, like, I might seem like a person that doesn't, like, I don't really plan a lot, but for me to do something, I need, like, a structured, detailed plan. And I feel a lot of times, like, my goals fall through because I don't even structure it myself. And so, like, I don't know, I'm just, like, really detailed oriented when it comes to goals, and I feel like when you're making a goal, you need to really focus and like I would think down to like the time of like all right, for example, like working out, like you keep saying working out. Like for me, I would have to have time of day, what workout I'm doing, and the amount of calories I can eat, all planned out that day 3 weeks in advance. Like that's what I would like to have. But it is so hard to get me like to do that myself that I end up quitting most of my goals because I feel like I need someone else to do it for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, I have the blueprint for a perfect goal, and anybody that's in business school is gonna roll their eyes at me. And I think they teach this elsewhere too, but it's a SMART goal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I think about goal setting.
Yeah. So it needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable.
Oh God.
It needs to be achievable. Relevant and time bound, which is what you were just saying.
Yeah.
And so all of those parts go into making what is
goals.
an efficient, effective goal. Because without that, if you didn't have a time, you would just be like, I know exactly what to do. I'm gonna do it 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And like you got to be accountable for the time. And then if it's not specific, you're just like, I know what I can do, but I don't know how to do it or where to apply it. You know.
That's what I struggle with the most is like not knowing how to do anything. Like, I want to do this or I want to learn that. Well, where do I start? I don't know.
Yeah. That's where the resolutions start.
Yeah,
having
exactly.
that broad vision and then narrowing in.
I really think it's important to understand the difference between, because when I talk about goals, I talk about SMART goals. When I talk about resolutions, I want to distinguish those because basically what I'm saying is when I look back at my resolutions, when I get to December and I look back on my resolution, that's not as important as all of the little goals I've set because of that resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we get down on ourselves because we didn't do exactly what we thought we were going to do based on the resolution, but that's okay as long as we've completed the goals that we completed because of that resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing. Like, people get down on themselves, even like in February, they're like, I've been doing terrible on my resolution. That's not what we should be doing. We should be saying, I have a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's kind of iffy for me. I don't love resolutions. I love goals.
Yeah.
And I've always said that every time January rolls around, I'm like, I hate this because we're conditioned to only do this once a year. What we really should be doing is like waking up every day thinking, what's the goal for the day? What am I going to do? What am I going to learn? And like, just as Americans with this tradition, we're kind of conditioned to only do it once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be morning resolutions. You know,
Yeah.
we should have that, or maybe like we should have one resolution for a year, maybe, unless something drastic changes. But every day we need to wake up and be like, what are my goals for the day?
Maybe like every holiday or something, you should be like
A reassessment.
Because like New Year's is a holiday, and we think about New Year's resolutions. Maybe Easter and your birthday, like, even though they don't have anything to do with that type of thing, maybe we just use those as checkpoints in our lives to be like, okay, time to like kind of reevaluate where I'm at and like make a new resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I need accountability when it comes to goals.
Yeah.
Not accountability to hold myself accountable, but I need somebody else to hold me accountable. Because I feel like I slip up when it's just me. But if I tell like 3 other people and they ask me every day, how are you doing? Are you going to the gym? Or like, I feel like I would do way much better because I feel like I don't know if this is like me being a people pleaser, but I feel like I get way more satisfaction from telling others how I'm doing, like
Definitely.
versus like, okay, let's look at how I was doing. Oh, I didn't do my goal today.
You just can't lie.
Yeah.
Because so me and Mackenzie last year at the beginning of the year kind of did that where I would go to the gym every day and I would text her every time I went to the gym. And we had this little thing going. It didn't really work out. I was like, every day I don't text you, I owe you $1. Never actually did that, but that's just kind of a thing that you can do with your friends. Or I mean, I think accountability for certain people, me included, is very important when it comes to goal setting. Is being able to have either your girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, or your group of friends to keep you accountable. I think that's really important.
I mean, look at I know this is gonna sound like crazy, but like Joe Rogan. All right, I know I go back to Joe Rogan. Like, apparently he did really good this year. Like this is his year. This is his 20.
Yeah, I mean, this is the year that I first heard about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he's everywhere now. But like, basically, what he did was he took all of his best friends, who are all comics, by the way, and they all posted on social media, and they had a whole, I mean, millions of followers every day, like watching their videos and stuff about them working out, and their followers kept like getting at them and like holding them accountable. If you have like 1 million people holding you accountable, I mean, you're gonna do the work. And so, but the funniest thing was they were all, that guy, they were all competing against each other, and that's what I thought was the most powerful. Like, you can hold somebody accountable, but when you're a guy and you're friends with other dudes and you're all competitive, I think that would be really cool. Actually, as a good strategy for like setting a goal. If you had another person set the same exact goal, and you were being competitive, and
So before we move on to the next little topic we have, I just want to mention there's actually an app or like a browser app for this called Beeminder. I'm on the website right now. It says keep your long-term goals in focus. Basically, you can sign up for this, set your goals, and then set daily or weekly accountability points, basically, where you actually tie a dollar amount. So you put Beeminder, you tie your bank account to it. Every day, say it's a gym everyday thing. It's going to text you, and you've got to reply to Beeminder and say, I went to the gym. And if you don't, it's going to charge your bank account $1, $5, whatever you do. The thing with this is you can't lie, because you could just easily lie and be like, yes, I did it, Beeminder. There's another podcaster I listen to, Thomas Frank, who I think he did this with his Twitter followers, where he would like post he was going to the gym every day, and if he didn't, all of his Twitter followers would like berate him, and he would owe somebody. I think he did a bet with a friend where he would owe a friend like $100 if
Yes.
he did this 30-day challenge where if he didn't go to the gym every day, he owed his friend $100 or something. You know, like there's all these crazy types of things you can do, and I think there are ways to rewire your brain in a way.
Yeah.
Because if you use Beeminder and you rewire your brain, you can probably turn that off if you've done it for a month, because then now your brain has that habit.
Mm.
So I think all of these things can be temporary, unless you want them. I mean, you can keep it going if you want to.
I love that. I love that steep. Oh man, that's
All right, Hunter. You owe me $100 if you don't go to the gym every
please
day.
Don't do that to me, please.
I mean,
I don't want to do that.
Wait,
But I
what's
don't
better
wanna
is
make
if
that
there
bet.
was a third person that held both of your $100, so
Yeah.
then they would like. It's not like, oh, I'm just not going to
Yeah,
give
but
it
what
to
if
you.
I did go into the gym every day and got that? I went hard and
They give you your
do you
100
give
back.
me 100?
no.
Is that the deal?
Because you went there and improved yourself.
I know,
every
but I
day.
feel like I would work so much harder if I knew I was getting $100 at the
You
end
don't
of it.
need. You don't need to be like. Money doesn't need to be your only like motivator in life.
Yeah, true. But I mean, what's worse? I'm making a bet, and if you lose the bet, you pay money, or if you lose the bet, you
If you win the bet, you win money.
well, okay. It's
Wait, I have a
basically
really
the
good
same
idea.
thing, actually.
For Planet Fitness.
What?
What if they had a deal where if you checked in every day at the beginning of the year, your gym membership was free for the rest of the year? Well, that would just make it overcrowded. But that'd be a good that'd be a good marketing scheme, though. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
and it would make the
Or
world
you
a
just
better
get
place.
you just get a little discount. Like,
yeah, or maybe
if
just
you go on like hot
that month
streets.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of cool. Let's start a gym.
And that'll be
Sure.
our.
Compete
There
with Planet Fitness.
there need to be more around here. Like
There are
I don't
so
want to
many
have
everywhere.
to drive like 20 minutes to get to a gym.
Carolina Fitness, man, right down the road.
I
The
know,
place
but I'm
is
talking
sweet.
about like a Planet Fitness kind of place,
Planet Fitness.
or
Let's not even
okay,
get into
a Gold's
that.
Gym, or
I
like,
like
yeah,
Planet
Gold's
Fitness.
Gym.
a Gold's Gym around.
You
here
guys are
somewhere.
those like grunting kind of guys. You're the lunks, aren't you?
Well,
Okay,
So-
I gotta admit,
Lunk along.
my problem.
I love grunting when I'm working.
My
out.
problem
like,
with Planet that.
I love that. I love it.
My problem. All right, here's a couple problems, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. I don't think you can wear sleeveless shirts.
What?
I'm pretty sure you can't. And also, the one in Shelby at least doesn't have free weights, and I need like if I'm gonna bench press and squat, I need I don't
Yeah,
need
free
like,
weights are all.
They've
in
got
my
the Smith
working out.
machines. I can't stand those.
I think they don't let you wear like.
The only thing I love is the
thong
machine
shirts or
is
whatever.
the
Yeah, which is
crunches.
that's what I wear.
That's
I
what
wear
you
like
wear?
cutoffs down to here.
Oh yeah.
I don't wear a lot of
Oh
clothes
my
when I go to
god!
the
When we
gym.
used to
man.
work out, Clay would be walking up in there, his pecs flipping out of his shirt, just pointing at you like, "Dude, put your nipple away." But it just.
Well,
it's
I
funny.
mean, I just tell you, I don't
I
like
feel-
to wear a lot of clothes.
All our
anymore.
viewers are gonna get like the weirdest visual image of Clayton right now because they probably don't even know what
They
you
don't know what
look
to look like, but they're just
Yeah.
imagining me walking in with my nipples out to the gym.
If you're listening to
just
this,
poking
draw us a
around the corner
picture of
there.
what you think Clayton looks like right now.
Oh my- don't draw us pictures. No. Don't,
Yeah, that
don't
might get
send
dangerous.
us to- No
So let's
way.
move on to the next mini topic we have here, and we've hit on this a little bit, so we can just go in a little deeper. But how to set effective goals? Like, what are good strategies in order to set goals, keep track of your goals, blah blah blah, whatever. So we talked about SMART goals.
Yeah.
I think that's what I immediately go to when somebody asks me, "How do you set effective goals?" Is SMART goals.
Yeah, I mean,
Anything else?
well, once you have your goals set, I think a good way to be on top of things is just to wake up 30 minutes earlier than you do and just sit at a table or in your favorite chair and just get your mind together. Because like when we get up, we always get up right when we have to and run off and do what we need to do. But it's like, oh, I need to be somewhere at 8. Okay, I'll get up at 7:30.
Yeah.
Hop out the door.
Yeah.
But like, why don't we get up at 7, have some time to just relax? Because we don't need that extra 30 minutes of sleep. And if you do, you need to be going to bed earlier. You know what I'm saying? So just wake up earlier, get out a piece of paper, and yeah, the first 5 minutes you're just going to be like a zombie. And you're going to be like, why am I out here doing this? But just start scribbling. You don't even have to write words. And then before you know it, your brain will wake up. Instead of you waking up while you're driving and getting stressed out, you're going to be waking up with this piece of paper, time to yourself. You can read a book. And I think that'd be a good way to just kind of focus on your goals. You know, if you give yourself that mindfulness time.
Let me just run real quick through my morning routine. Whenever, I mean, I don't do this every day. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but whenever I do my morning routine, I wake up. I try to wake up around 2 hours before I need to be anywhere. So I have to be at work at 8, wake up at 6. First thing I do is read for like 10 minutes. It can be an article, it could be a book, whatever. That kind of just gets me awake. Then I meditate. do like a 10-minute guided meditation using an app. I use Insight Timer. It's a free app. So, anyways, meditate. Then I like eat breakfast, take a shower, kind of get ready for the day, brush my teeth, whatever. At that point, I still have like an hour till I need to be anywhere. That last 30 minutes before I leave, I sit down with my journal or my notebook, and I literally write 8 to 4 work, 4 to 5 workout. Like, I'll write exactly what I need to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
And that 20, 30 minutes of me sitting down and just like, let me think through every hour of this day and what I'm going to be doing, it just opens my mind up throughout the rest of the day to like not have to think about those things.
Yeah.
If I have scheduled that next Tuesday I'm going to the grocery store because I need to go to the grocery store, I don't have to think about that during the day. It's already on my schedule. It's already written out. And I used to be really rigid about this, where I would write like down to the 30 minutes. Like, here's what I'm doing every 30 minutes. I would schedule in driving time. This year I'm trying to be a little more flexible because that would always kind of stress me out.
Yeah.
So I think you just got to kind of play around with that. But even if you don't do all that other morning routine stuff I did, like meditation and all that stuff, like Sid was saying, take 20 minutes with a piece of paper and just figure out what that day is. Like, there's this other thing I do. It's called a brain dump, where you just literally just write down all your thoughts because you need those out of your head so you can think about other things. So I think that's a good strategy when it comes to goal setting, because it's going to allow you to stay accountable every day.
Yeah.
I love how you said that, because it's making me think about, like, a lot of what you just said reminds me of like setting yourself up for success versus just setting yourself up for failure. And a lot of times the people that, like, I'm one of those people where I just wake up, I throw clothes on, and I run out the door. I'm in the car.
A failure to plan is a plan to fail.
Yes.
Anyways, keep going. I just had to say that.
But I get like 30 minutes to drive to work, and most of the time it's dark outside, so I'm just like, I'm not really thinking, I'm just listening to music, and I'm still asleep. I get to work, I get about an hour in, and I finally wake up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm at work.
I'm telling you, if you wake up and read something, like I go on Medium. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a website where people just write. I mean, you can write on Medium if you want to. It's like a blogging platform, but I'll read like a 10-minute article, and it can be about whatever, literally. Reading in the morning just kind of gets your brain working. And meditation does for me too, but some people aren't into that. But, and then another thing I do is listen to a podcast or an audiobook on the way to work, because if I listen to music, my mind just kind of turns off, and I don't like that in the morning. When I'm talking about relaxing and turning my mind off, that's what the afternoon and night is for. Because like in the morning, I just want my mind to wake up and be ready for the day. So I try not to listen to music in the morning, unless sometimes I listen to like headbanging metal music because it like wakes me up.
Yeah.
But
I had a habit of drinking, like Sundrop or Cheerwine to wake myself in the morning. But I really feel bad afterwards, so
that's terrible, man. Getting sugar and all that in you.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's difficult to go to bed and then wake up. I have to wake up at 6.
Yeah.
To get to work on time, because I'm 30 minutes away from work. So usually like 30 minutes to get ready, 30 minutes to leave the house or get to your work, and then you're there on time. But I don't know if I could ever do 2 hours, because I'm looking at like 4 o'clock. Like,
yeah, that would be rough. I mean, even if you did 5:30.
Well, if you have to be there at 7, then you'd wake up at 5.
Yeah, but 30 minutes of that. I usually get 30 minutes to get ready, and then 30 minutes to...
Yeah, so then you have another hour to do these things.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's kind of something I want to hit on is... so I got a buddy, he used to work with me. Me and him watched this video of this military guy being like, why doesn't everybody wake up at 4 a.m.? Like, I get so much done in the first 3 hours of my day. Like, what's wrong with you people? And, like, the only thing that you have to do if you're going to do this, and I'm not saying wake up at 4 a.m., even 6 a.m. for me is tough and like pretty early. You have to get in the habit of going to bed earlier. And you got to realize you're not missing out on anything, because that's why I don't go to bed. Is like, I'd rather be playing video games. I'd rather be watching YouTube video, watching Netflix. If you're not missing out on things if you don't watch another episode of your Netflix show. What you're going to accomplish the next morning at 6 a.m. by doing your meditation or doing your journaling, that's going to get you so much farther in your day than watching another episode of your favorite Netflix show.
Yeah.
You've got to just flick your brain to get there. And going to bed early is like the bane of my existence. But like, I really need to get in that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what causes you not to go to bed early?
Video games, basically. I mean, I'm sitting there playing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna quit. I'm just gonna keep, because like, I try to get 8 hours of sleep. But if I'm gonna get 8 hours of sleep, I gotta go to sleep at 10 because I gotta wake up at 6. So I'll kind of justify it and be like, I'll just wake up at 7 tomorrow, play another extra hour of video games. But then I wake up at 7. I don't have that time to do my journal, to do my meditation, and that just sucks. Like, I think about it every morning. I'm like, dang, I wish I would have woke up earlier. But I guess I just value video games at night more, and that's just something I shouldn't do because I'm not missing out on anything if I don't play those video games.
See, my problem. Well, it's not really a problem. I like when I get home, I go through like a routine where I get home, and it's like a winding down routine. I talk to Lauren, we hang out for a little bit, then I go take a shower, and then we cook dinner, and then I start winding down more. We watch a movie or something, and by the time that's all over, it's already 9, maybe 8 if I'm lucky, o'clock, and that only gives me about 2 hours until I got to get myself in bed. 1 hour if it's 9. And so, like, that's what I try to do, and it's so hard to, like, but once you've done all that, like, to get all that other stuff you want to get done in that 1 hour you have left. Because if I don't go to bed at 11 o'clock, I'm not gonna feel at all any good.
Yeah.
If I go to bed after 11, because after 11 is less. It's like 6 hours or in 30 minutes of sleep or something like that.
Yeah.
But if it's before 11, I get at least 7 hours of sleep, and I can function perfectly off of 7.
Yeah.
I think 8 would be a little too much for me.
Yeah, everybody's different. Everybody needs a different amount of sleep.
But like when I'm not going to work or anything, I sleep for 9-10 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
It's because my brain's trying to recharge from all the not sleep I don't get.
Yeah.
And I just need. I feel like I need more help with like planning that out. I don't know, like I don't know how it is with like you. Like
I think what you gotta do is challenge yourself for 30 days to live by a strict schedule where there's no compromises. You're going to bed at 10, you're waking up at 6 or 5 or whatever you want to do. You just like gotta say, all right, screw it. This 30 days, I'm sticking to this. And then at the end of those 30 days, you can either go back to your regular whatever, or you can say, okay, I've built this habit now. It's almost impossible to do it any other way than to just challenge yourself to do it.
Well, the beauty of that is Lauren is actually leaving to go to Georgia for a month, maybe 2 months. I think it's 2 months. But in those 2 months, I'll have a lot more free time to like just, not even free time, just more time to think about what I can do in the day. Because, I mean, I love hanging out with Lauren. But when she's not there, I feel like I get so much done productivity-wise. And so, like, and she knows this too. Like, we're the same way. We're like, okay, we need to stop hanging out with each other all the time.
Well, it's a difficult time right now because we're engaged, not married. We're not, I'm in the same boat with Mackenzie. We're not living together. So, like, I go down and visit her once or twice a week. And on those days, I don't get anything done because I'm traveling to Charlotte. We're hanging out. So I think we are at a weird point in our lives where until we get married, until we move in with our spouses, we don't have as much structure as we're going to have then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for me, it's way like it's like that, but like every day, because I don't really know what I'm going to do the next day. But I feel like if I lived by myself versus living like in the situation I'm living now, I have like my mother, my father, my fiance, and then sometimes the kids come over, and then sometimes my nephew comes over. So it's like always something crazy happening.
Well, what's happening at 5 in the morning?
Nothing.
He's sleeping. That's what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. If you're willing to cut out that hour at the end where we're not being productive, everybody, I'm not saying everybody, all three of us, by what I've heard you guys say, at night we're just watching TV, playing video games.
Yeah. Oh, that's when I
operate. We could all.
That's when my brain works at peak performance. Is at night.
Well, that's another thing.
Be fine.
For me, I would rather wake up in the morning and get some stuff done then. Some people would rather say, okay, from 8 to 9 every night, that's when I'm gonna do creative stuff or write my journal. Because like as a different thing, like I wake up every morning and try to write down what I'm gonna do that day.
Yeah.
If you do better at night, at 8 o'clock every night,
I would do way better at night if I had like 2 hours where I didn't play video games, I didn't watch movies, and I just sat there and thought.
But even if you just take 15 minutes, say every night at 8:45, I'm gonna sit down with my journal, and I'm gonna write down what I do the following day. That will make your life. It just brings a lot more structure. Because, yeah, I mean, if you don't work well in the morning, if the morning's not your time to, like, your brain's not on, then definitely do that at night. I'm not saying do it in the morning. I'm just a morning type of person.
Well, the whole point is what you're saying is you just want to find a place of solitude where you can focus. Because throughout the day you're going to be around your family, your coworkers, and you're just busy and you're not focused on one thing. In the morning, that's kind of a time when it's quiet and you have time.
Yeah.
But nights like that too.
Yeah.
So
it depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah, the whole point of this is not to say get up early. It's to say get alone, find some time to just be with you and your brain.
Yeah.
Figure things out.
I want to say too, and I think we should do a full episode on meditation at some point in the future, because it has a lot of stigma and not a lot of people know a lot about it. But if you're willing to download Insight Timer, do their beginning meditation course, and literally just put on your headphones and they'll walk you through it. It just gives you a lot more headspace, because it teaches you how to kind of push away thoughts that just pop into your head. And like I say, we'll do a full episode on it, but for me, meditation has been one of the things that I've found over the past year that has really helped my scatterbrain kind of figure out how to not scatter anymore. So that's just personal, but
cool.
Yeah.
I need to do that too.
Yeah, we'll have an episode on it, and we'll figure out more about it. So let's just move on to the final little topic here. We're going to talk about our 2019 New Year's resolutions and a look forward to what we want to accomplish this year. Sid, what's up, man?
Well, I've put mine into some categories. So I have like health, mind, spirituality, and finance. And so like in my health category, this is going to sound stupid, and it's not a diagnosis or anything, but I feel like I'm not taking care of my heart. Like, a doctor hasn't told me anything, but I just feel like I don't work out, I don't run, and I eat stuff, and sometimes my heart just feels like heavy, and I'm like, you know, and I'm just using my heart as an example, but like I'm not taking care of my body, and I need to. And I don't care about looking buff or all this stuff. I just want to be healthy, and so that's my New Year's resolution. I want to work on that, and specifically, I want to work on like aerobics, not aerobics. What is it?
Cardio,
yeah. So I've got some goals set. I want to run 2 miles twice a week. So it's not a tough goal, because I'm not looking to like get in great shape. I just want to take care of my body, take care of my heart. And I also want to do a 5-mile hike a week, but I might make that 2 weeks, because I was going to try to hike this week, and something's already come up. Because by the time you hike, it's already like a day excursion, you know, because usually you have to drive to it. And anyway, and also for my health, less coffee. You know, I drink too much, and I've been doing a lot better even before this New Year's resolution. So it's going to be an easy one for me. Mind and spirituality have the same resolutions, but I want to journal. To be honest, I haven't set a goal yet, so I don't know how many times or how much I want to journal, but I'll figure that out. And I want to read. So for my mind, I want to read books that kind of like push me. I want to either read a book that is something I've never heard of, or that's, you know, like Shakespearean, where you just have to engage to even understand what's being said. Like I love books like that, or just something new, some new information to learn. And then for spirituality, I want to journal more, which this can be the same journal, but I want to journal about my faith.
Yeah. And
I also want to read the Bible through again. And that's like a lifetime goal. I want to read it every year. And then finances. So I'm kind of self-employed because I work with the family business, and I just feel self-employed. So working 40 hours for me is like, I wouldn't get fired if I didn't, but I wouldn't ever succeed if I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I want to work 40 hours, which might sound stupid to some people because they're like, you have to anyway. Well, I don't, but I'm going to, and I do have to because I do. And I'm thinking about maybe getting a house this year. I know I come from a background. My dad and my uncle flip houses and stuff, so I know how that works and real estate investing. And I know if I bought a house, I could buy it right and buy it with some equity, and then down the road, live in the house and then sell it, and maybe even live for free. So
dude, we need to talk about that more often, cause
yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert, so I don't want to say anything on the podcast, but
no,
that's kind of a goal.
I think me and you have, I'm not a real estate and anything guru about that, but
Yeah.
I found we have a lot in common with that, cause my parents, they just recently acquired a house and we didn't flip it, we did change it and we rented it out to these people.
That's real estate investing, and that's what I'm that's my end game, to be honest.
So that's what I wanted to get into too, and I want to have that as a side thing going, where I have a job, but then I also do that on the side.
To me, I like having assets better than liquid. I think you have to have the right amount of liquid, or you're just being crazy. But if you have excess, buy a house. Maybe not buy it right. Don't buy it right now. The economy's booming. It's probably not the best time to go pick up some investment.
I was waiting until the recession to buy one.
Just be smart about it. I mean, talk to your financial advisors. Don't listen to me. But so my job is real estate, and I'm a real estate agent. So if you're listening to this and you're in North Carolina,
nice
hit me
plug.
up. Yeah, there you go. So those are my resolutions. I'm sure there's more somewhere, but those are the ones that really I really just put on paper because they're the ones that are important. So,
Hunter, what are your resolutions, man?
Well, I did have just finance, but then Sid made me think about what other things should I do, and it led me to something big, the biggest thing I'm thinking about right now is just find out what I want to do with my life. Right when I got out of college, it was get a job, get a job, just get a job. Don't worry about it, get a job. And I was just okay, get a job. And so I got a job, but I feel it's not going anywhere. Maybe it is. It's just I don't see it yet, and I'm more a impatient with it kind of thing. But I need to find out because my goal was to own my own business one day, and I really need to find out what I want to do with that. Do I want to have my own business? Yes, but what kind of business do I need, or what I want to run? And so I really want to figure out that, because it's been going through my head all the time recently. But some lower goals I have are start a portfolio. I want to start a portfolio with investing, because I have a lot of free cash right now because I'm living at my parents' house, so I don't have to pay any rent. So I should put that to good something. And then a 401k, I recently got a form from my work, so I'm going to put in for a 401k, and that's good. And the other one was to learn about real estate, from people I can learn about it from. So Sid, want to teach about some real estate? Maybe
you can pick my brain, man. We can have some coffee on.
I would love to do that. Yeah. And another one was what Clayton said, with finish reading. I have a lot of books I've started, but I never finished reading them, because I would, I said, I'm kind of detail oriented, and so I just can't read a book, because in the past I've read books for entertainment, and I would remember them, but I would be all right, I forget some
Yeah, I know how that is.
Yeah, and so the books I'm reading now, it's not entertainment, it's knowledge based, learning, the 12 steps to blah blah blah, and I find myself I have this management book that I've started reading, where it teaches how to be a good manager, basically, and I found myself writing down notes on every page, and I just got so involved into it that it burnt me out, and I stopped reading it because I don't know. So that would be another one. It's just to really start finishing the books I started off with, and then also learn a new ability. I don't know, learn something kind of what we were talking about last time with hobbies. Find a hobby that I can do, a new hobby. I just love doing new hobbies, and so that's another one. And then for my health goals, I really want to do what you were saying is like lose 20. For me, I'm not fat, but losing 20 pounds is like a good goal I want to set for myself because I used to be 180 going into college and now I'm like 210. So I was like, dang, I put on weight, you know? But, yeah, and then less sugar and less fast foods because that's what got me in the first place was fast foods and sugar.
Yeah, that stuff's crap.
Yeah, but that's basically what I put down.
Sweet. Sound like some good resolutions. Sound like you've thought it out. So my resolutions, I'll just plug real quick. I'm gonna post this on my blog, so like more detailed, going into more of them. And you can find that at www.claytonhamrick.com. So my first resolution, and I have these like subtitled. Anyways, eat more breakfast. So this kind of is just my health goal is to eat more breakfast. I know like the times in my life when I'm going to the gym and doing really well health wise, I'm eating breakfast every day and getting my day off to a good start. And if I eat breakfast, I don't eat as much junk food, and just that's also this thing. If I eat breakfast every morning, that can be what I use to remind myself to eat healthier. And when I do work out, I like to have calorie goals and macro goals, and I find that it's really hard to hit your macro goals if you don't eat breakfast. So my first resolution is to eat more breakfast. But like I say, that kind of goes deeper. Also, I just wanted to read this. This is what I wrote. To start the day with the most important meal of the day, serving it up Gary's way. Does anybody understand?
SpongeBob.
Okay.
The old Bob boy.
Second resolution is to post YouTube videos at a decent frequency. So like I said, last year I started my YouTube channel because of a social media class that I took, and I'm not going to be able to post as often as I did for that class just because school and life doesn't allow it, but I want to post probably every other week, so that would be 24 videos. Wait, I'm bad at math. 26 videos?
50, every other week. 52.
52 divided by 2 is 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. So I want to try to post every other week, or at least at a decent frequency. Anyways, next, one of my resolutions is to maintain and grow the podcast. So that's a personal goal. That's kind of a podcast goal, like between all of us. But for me, I just want to do my part in maintaining and growing the podcast, whatever I need to do to make that happen. Next resolution would be to read more. I think in theory this is what should be as easy as telling myself to play more video games or to watch more TV, because I'm specifically talking about more fiction, like fantasy and stuff like that. Because when I'm in the habit of reading fantasy and like reading that escapist type stuff, I also find myself getting in the habit of reading more nonfiction. And so I think an easy way to start off this goal of reading more is to start reading fiction. So I'm gonna try to read. I mean, I've got plenty of fiction books on my shelf that are on my list to finish and start and whatever. So I want to make that one of my goals for the year. Next resolution is to abide by a morning routine and meditate frequently. Like I said, I have a morning routine. I do meditation, but I don't do it at the right frequency. I'm sporadic about it. Sometimes I'll do good for a week. Sometimes there'll be a week where I don't even do any of it. You looking at my website, dude?
I am. I'm gonna try to follow along with you.
There's only one blog post there, and this one's not up there yet.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay. The last couple. Finish school and begin a career. So I'm going to finish school in May, finally. So tired of it. And yeah, that's really broad because I don't even know what my career is going to be, but that's one that I've got to dive deeper and kind of set some more solid goals for. Another one is to learn to love better and pursue Mackenzie more, because not that I don't do that enough, I just always think there's room for improvement with how you love your spouse or your significant other. And this is a big year for us because we're going to get married in September and we're going to move in together, and I really want to start our marriage off right, obviously. And one thing that I don't do enough is be in constant pursuance of her. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people think you only need to pursue a girl when you're courting her, but Even we're engaged, and I still need to be pursuing her and showing her that I'm coming after her. That sounded really weird.
I'm coming after you.
No, I think it's more important now than ever. You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of my resolutions. And then my last resolution, and this one was really broad, to learn every day.
Yeah.
One of my mottos, and something that I want to make a big part of my YouTube channel, is to always be learning. Because I always ask myself, and I ask Mackenzie this sometimes, what did you learn today? Because even if you didn't like specifically read a book or try to learn something, there's every day you can sit down and say, what did I learn today? And you're gonna find something. So that's a goal for this year, is to always be learning, and at the end of every day be able to look back and say, I learned something today. So there's my goals. If you want to read more in depth on my little if you read my writing, it sounds a lot different than how I speak. I like my writing style. So go to my blog and check that out.
Cool.
So sounds to me like we have some pretty good goals. I think we've all thought them out pretty well.
We need to set some more goals and some shorter term goals.
So let's talk real quick about goals and resolutions for the podcast. And this will be the final thing we talk about before we wrap up. So I think what we want to do with the podcast is make sure that we post every week. And if we're not going to post one week because of complications, we do need to make sure that we communicate that with our listeners.
Yeah.
So that's one of the resolutions.
One for me is that we need to be posting more often because we have
on
no
social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no consistency, and I'd rather just be consistent with nothing than just post randomly, because that's worse than nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Feels weird.
Do we need to have different times we post?
I think maybe if like one of us took a day of the week, like we could post 3 times a week, and I think that'd be enough.
So one of the goals that we need to have is to come up with a strategy.
Yeah.
Other podcast resolutions. I think later on in this year we need to start having guest hosts, kind of figuring out people
Can't wait till we do that.
that are more learned on the topics that we're going into and can just kind of provide a new perspective. We really want to get some females on the cast because I know that I don't have a female perspective, and I don't think these guys do either.
Yeah, we need to think of like kind of organic ways to spread this too, because like when we first started, we had this time when we shared it on all of our pages and it was fresh and new, and you know, we can't just say, oh, that's our marketing plan, we're just going to share on our pages once a week. Eventually it'll just become white noise and everybody will be like, oh, that's their podcast, put that out of my brain. So maybe the answer is having guests, because those guests will post it on theirs and bring in like a fresh audience. But I think we should think more in that vein of having, because I think for us organic's important. I don't think there's going to be any kind of paid way that is going to be super effective for us.
No.
Just because we're, you know, it's a podcast. We'd have to pay a lot of money to get the exposure we need to get the listeners.
Yeah.
So we got to do it organically through people, friends, family, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so this is an exciting year for the podcast. It's the first new year that we've experienced as a podcast. And I think that it just brings a lot of excitement to me to know that we're going to be able to grow the podcast this year.
Yeah. Well,
And
this
also,
is the year. This is our Jordan year. Well, no, this is our Jordan year.
well, those who are listening, I hope you can see that we do care about the podcast, and that, you know, if you like it or if you see anything, like even some potential, like let us know, and maybe even if you want to, you can share it.
Let's try to make it to the end of the year. Like, let's just push to the end of the year, you know? Like,
yeah. If nothing's happened by the end of the year, we can at least said, I maintained a podcast for a year.
Yeah.
And even if we failed, that's a huge accomplishment in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, being able to sit down and have conversations every week is going to also help us stay accountable with our actual resolutions, because
like you were
just
saying.
talking to people every week, even if we're not specifically talking about resolutions, you kind of want to be able to have something to say about yourself, and I think the podcast is going to be really good for that. So
Awesome.
Yeah, good luck in 2019. Make some resolutions, make some goals. Don't be like, I used to be this way where the new year would come in and I'd be like, I'm not going to make any goals, that's stupid. But like, I think it is a really good time to really evaluate your life and figure out bigger things you want to make happen. So, anything else you guys want to say?
Just be optimistic. and just have fun. This is life. It's not.
Be
Don't take it too
disciplined.
seriously.
I want to say be disciplined. If I could stamp myself with discipline,
You get a tattoo that says discipline.
I know, but that's like, it's so contradictory
on
for me
your-
because I'm terrible at discipline.
The palm of your hand.
Discipline.
a
I
terrible
want like a
idea.
military person to come and teach me discipline. Like, that's how bad I want it. Like, I want to be.
You can hire drill
Disciplined.
sergeants. You know that?
I know, but I just
They're a lot of money, but
I just want somebody to just like, cause like, all right, when I used to go to this workout place in Shelby, like there was a workout dude. He
Yeah.
he was okay. I'm not saying he was a good or bad person, but I'm just saying I loved his attitude when I got
scream
there.
at you, man.
I don't know why, but like I'm such a nice person and like I'm really gentle with people. When somebody comes at me and like yells at my face like get out of 220, I just like okay. But then afterwards I'm like thank you. Oh, I needed that. And then you just get to where like you're telling somebody's telling you like oh you suck, get up, do it again, and you're just like ah, and you just get into it. So yeah, discipline. I don't know.
Okay. Well, with that said, I hope everybody had a great holiday season, but now it's time to buckle down and have a great 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Godspeed and good conversations.
That's all, folks.
I'll leave that in. Thanks for listening to this episode of Young Adult's Guide to Planet Earth. We hope you enjoyed the conversation.
If you want to join the conversation, make sure to join us on Twitter at Young Adult Guide and Instagram at Young Adults Guide.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to be notified. Like, comment, and join the conversation.
Talk to you next week.